This video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you're not road racing or doing extreme gravel, then I think an all-road bike is the best choice for many people. And in today's video, I'll share 7 of the best examples you can buy right now and which I reviewed right here on Just Ride Bikes. All-road bikes, often called endurance road bikes, are bikes that have the speed and performance of a road race bike but dialed back a bit, with space for bigger tyres, more comfort, more practical and versatile for fitting mud guards and extra bags and bottles for long distance rides, and sometimes a more relaxed geometry for a more comfortable fit that won't do your back in after a few hours on a bike on a Sunday morning. In no particular order, and there are chapter links down below if you want to skip ahead to the bike that most interests you, the bike that's most appealed to me in the last 12 months of riding it is the Fiftyone Sika. Not the biggest bike brand in the world, but the Sika really hits home with a bike that I think suits so many people so well. Firstly, it's super lightweight, with a sub 700 gram frame that will embarrass many high-end road race bikes, yet has space for 40mm wide tyres, and the geometry is more laid back than a race bike, but not really as upright as many endurance bikes, and still gives a sporty personality if you like to ride fast, but you have a bit more comfort for those long rides. I've been riding mine for the last 12 months with a SRAM Red Access group set for testing, and it's a bike I've used for everything from chain gangs, where it's flat out, full gas, start to finish, and multiple 300km all axes and all day rides with some bags on the saddle and handlebars, where the comfort and the fit has really helped me to smash out those big miles very easily indeed. It really does get the blueprint for a modern all-road endurance road bike absolutely spot on, and I think a bike that most people will find a perfect fit and match for their riding aspirations. The comfort, the speed, the low weight, and the fun it offers as well. So it is one of the bikes I've been most impressed with over the last few years, as it really meets the demands of us regular folk riding bikes with fun and enjoyment and fitness. Proving that there's no single blueprint for an all-road bike is a Bridge Surveyor, made in Toronto in Canada. This bike has space for 40mm wide tyres like the Fiftyone Sika, but the geometry is much more racy. It's similar to a race bike with a low stack and a long top tube, very different to the Fiftyone Sika and other endurance bikes that I'll mention later in today's video. And that is a really interesting mix, and a very rare mix too. If you want a bike with wide tyre clearance, you're often looking at a more relaxed fit, which is fine for many people. But if you want that race bike fit with space of wide tyres, this is one of the few options. And the bike I found when I rode it around California 2 years ago offered amazing performance. It's fast, it's lively, engaging, but with space for big tyres, you can ride over everything. I had a bike spec with 36mm Schwaber G1 RS, so pretty much slick down the middle and a bit of shoulder tread action, and I smashed out the road miles. I did light dirt and gravel tracks, and I also did some mountain bike trails as well, and it was right at home across those 3 scenarios just fine. And a bike I still have a twitch about buying one day. So 2 bikes with the same tyre clearance, but very different approaches to geometry and performance. A more conventional endurance road bike, originally a sporty bike 20 years ago, is the Specialized Roubaix SL8. It also has space for 40mm wide tyres, so it ticks that box nicely, but has a much more upright fit, a higher stack and a shorter reach, so much easier to ride if you don't want that crouched down position than the Bridge or the Fiftyone. And then the comfort is off the scale, one of the smoothest riding bikes, full stop, thanks to a future shock in the front and that bendy seat post. There are some owners reporting issues with reliability of that future shock, even though Specialized have been doing it for many years now. So a small question mark around that, but there's no denying the comfort it does offer. Bikes come sold with a 30 or 32mm wide tyre as standard, but as I found some time ago, linked to a video above and down below in case you missed it, you can fit a wide gravel tyre and do gravel riding. I wouldn't use it for extreme gravel, but for doing road and canal towpaths and smooth gravel tracks and dirt paths, it's a really good setup. And for many people, it's probably all the gravel bike they actually need whilst retaining that road bike spirit and DNA. It's also versatile and practical as well, with mudguard mounts and top tube mounts, so you can go bike packing if you want, long all day touring rides. So a bike that does do a lot of things very well. Right, we are rattling through the bike today, so a quick break to tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that makes building a professional looking website super duper easy. The way Squarespace streamlines making a website is just phenomenal. And my favorite way to build a website with Squarespace is using Blueprint AI. It does all the hard work for you. Simply punch in some details, the name of your website, what the website's about, and what sort of plugins and features you want, whether e-commerce, newsletter, video plugins, and so on. And hey presto, it builds a website bespoke for your very needs in a few minutes. And then you can add features as you need, and Squarespace has all the facilities to build a website for any purpose. From selling bike products, building a bike brand, a portfolio website for photos, a video, you want to start blogging, you want to start a newsletter, whatever your requirements, there's a solution on Squarespace. And right now, you get a free trial and find it for yourself just how easy and good it is. And if you enjoy it, as I'm sure you will, there's 10% off your first purchase of a brand new website or domain name using my special code on screen right now, and all linked down below in the description of today's video. Right, on to the next bike in today's roundup, the best all-road bikes. Another option, but admittedly a very expensive one, is the Enve Fray. And probably one of my favorite endurance road bikes available right now if you remove the price from the equation. I've ridden it in the UK, in Belgium, and in California, and every time it blew me away with the ride quality and the level of refinement from this package. I like the way you buy a frame set and you choose the handlebar and stem you need and the seat post, whether it's inline or set back. So while it's expensive, you can at least customize it to fit you perfectly, which you can't do when you buy a mainstream bike like a Specialized Roubaix as an example. And of course, it has space for 40mm wide tires, giving you the option to go to a 30, 34, or a 36, or even a 40, like that brand new Pirelli P0. There's down tube storage as well, which is a feature I really like and makes sense on a bike like this. You fit fenders or mudguards if you prefer, and a really high quality, high performance package with a nice high stack. A short reach gives a great smooth ride over rough terrain, and it looks $1 million too. Moving away from carbon fiber to a material close to my heart, the Fairlight cycle Secan. Now, the Secan is the UK company's gravel bike. They have the Grail for road, which might be a more sensible choice in today's video, but from my personal experience of owning a Mark 1 Secan for many years, it's a bike I've used for everything from extreme gravel with mountain bike tyres fitted to road riding with mudguards and 32mm wide tyres, and then a 36 middle of the road sort of light tread semi-slick tyre, and a bike I happily use for doing road and all road as well as gravel. So a really versatile bike. So definitely a bit of a left field choice, but an interesting choice and give you more freedom perhaps to fit the tires you want and build it, customize it to the riding you're doing, because everyone's idea of all road does vary massively based on personal riding styles and where you're based. From the Cotswolds to California to Australia, Japan, Norway, wherever you are, let me know by dropping a comment down below. So definitely a more interesting choice, not the most obvious all-road bike, but one I think does tickle the boxes I look for in an all-road bike, and it looks fantastic well and still gives amazing ride quality and those nice classic looks. Now, this isn't a all-road bike or an endurance road bike. It's classed as a gravel race bike, the Canyon Grail, but with space of 42mm wide tyres, it doesn't really deliver what I expect and want from a gravel bike in terms of tyre clearance and geometry these days. And it's actually pretty close to some endurance bikes in terms of tyre clearance. I mean, 40 to 42, not much in it. And the geometry is fairly close to something like an Enve Fray. So for me, despite being called a gravel race bike, it's really more of an all-road bike. And I found out when I rode it last year or the year before, with full mud guards on and a wide but slick gravel tyre, and I used it as a road bike and it worked extremely well. Not as fast as a race bike, but still fast enough for doing those long winter training rides, nice long leisurely summer rides, and that bigger tyre gives you loads of comfort on crappy road surfaces and more grip and control when it's slippery and wet, and gives you the option to do some light dirt and gravel as well if you want. So yeah, again, not a classic typical all-road bike, but I think actually delivers what I believe people are looking for in an all-road endurance road bike these days, and shows just how much bikes and our demands from bikes has moved over the last few years. Those goalposts, they keep on moving, don't they? And lastly, a bike definitely blurring the line between road, endurance, all-road and gravel is a brand new, fully updated Cannondale Synapse, which I reviewed just a few months ago. Link to that review above in case you missed it. This bike has space for 42mm wide tyres, bigger than all the other endurance bikes on the market right now, and the same as that Canyon Grail I just mentioned. And the interesting question, for me at least, is if Canyon believes the Grail is a gravel race bike with 42mm tyre clearance, where does that leave the Cannondale Synapse, an endurance road bike with 42mm tyre clearance? Because 42mm, they're both the same, but yet both aimed at different people. Or are they? The Synapse does have classic endurance road bike geometry. So that higher stack, so handlebars are high, and a shorter reach, so it's closer and higher to you, like you want if you're doing a Sportive or a Gran Fondo. So it may be an endurance road bike on paper and on the road, it certainly is, but has the potential to be so much more. Unfortunately, I didn't have the bike long enough to try a different tyre to see how wide you can go and how capable it could be as more of an all-road bike, but definitely a bike that, like I say, blurs the line between road, endurance and gravel. So as you've seen, hopefully, 7 bikes that show that all-road, endurance, road can be different depending on where the bike brand thinks the bikes are going, and also what you want from a bike too. So let me know by dropping a comment down below which of these bikes floats your boat, and are the bikes I've missed from today's video, and I'm sure there are loads. Don't forget to check out Squarespace if you need a new website. Easy peasy, anybody can build a website in minutes, and there's a discount code for you down below as well. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very soon.